Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, we're going to be talking about it's a new year on the calendar. But is it? It should be another business day for you and me. We're going to talk about it, and welcome to Foci Optics. Check. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back. And as you can see, we're on the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page. And I want to thank you for being here. And once again, this is 2021. Are you ready? All right, now, let's talk about this, because why should 2021 be any different than 2020 or 2019? Come on, all this winning can be done all the time. You just have to make preparations. So let's talk about it. And here we are on the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page, and you'll notice a join button over here on the right hand side. This is for members of the channel, and I send 1 or 2 videos per month under the community tab to members only. I put in special posts for members only when I do certain investments. They have a little bit more information than the rest of you who are not members of the channel. And I want to also point out we now have the store here on YouTube where you can actually order merch, SSN merch that is. And let's start off 2021. We got to make money. You got to have those streams of income. So over here you'll notice this little search icon. Put in make money online, affiliate marketing, anything you want that has to do with money. I have videos on that so you can start for free. No money out of pocket, none of this guru zone, because this is the no guru zone. We're keeping it that way. You can learn how to do it. And by the way, let me point out, if some of y'all still want to do this FBA Amazon stuff, there'll be a link down below from David Quintieri, who has the free Amazon FBA course. That's right, he's part of the no guru zone, telling people like it is 24/7, 7 days a week. So anyhow, let's talk about this now. What do we need first? You need streams of income. Once you have streams of income, you can do anything. Don't believe the hype here in America, all right? Because they have you fooled. Because what do you say when you want an asset? You want a house that you want to rent out. Because a house is not an asset when you're paying for it and you live in it. But the point is, you want to get investment property, they want 20% down. You want to get investment property, and they're going to check your credit. So let's stick with the first things first. You need an asset such as credit. You need your credit score to be over 600. You need to show that you manage your credit scores. So with that said, we're going to go right with Attractive Gem Jewelers. $10,000 primary trade line. Reports to all 3 credit bureaus. No credit check. No hard inquiry. No monthly payments. None of the above. $149.99 the first year. Nothing else to buy, I reiterate. And at the end of your first year anniversary, the renewal rate is $99.99. Pretty simple. A $10,000 primary trade line can help you. That's the best $10,000 primary trade line. Now let's move to the best $5,000 primary trade line, and that's my Jewelers Club. There's links down below for both of these. Get your first asset correct, but let's just say for the sake of argument, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. So we don't need credit. You're saying what? That's right. Because if you're trying to do investment properties, ladies and gentlemen, as long as there is revenue coming in, you can put down 25%, 20%, and get it financed, regardless of your credit. You got to have revenue coming in from the property, though. You ain't going to get anything for free. But if you had great credit, then this would all be a moot point, because then you can just finance it yourself. So anyhow, stop worrying about having personal credit and guaranteeing your projects or guaranteeing your funding, because otherwise, why are you getting the funding in the first place if you're not planning on making money? And any asset that you buy, you make money when you buy it. You already have a plan. You don't get a loan and then go, oh man, how am I going to pay this loan back? Come on, let's get in the game. Be smart. I know you can do it. All right, so let's go up with the next thing. First, we got to get our credit right. We don't have to, but you should. And if it's not right, then work on it. But in the meantime, we can still make things happen, but we still are going to need those streams of income. So as long as you have streams of income, you can do anything. So let's move on. While I came back from the Dominican Republic, another project has come upon us. It's in a place called Veron. Veron in Punta, Cana area is one of the worst neighborhoods. Let's just call it what it is. They're doing gentrification over there, and this now is the 4th project in Veron. That means they are doing gentrification because they're going to keep putting more projects over there and clean up the joint. That's because the property is so cheap. So I'm going to go Canas del Este. You can see right here on the screen $40,000 for a 1-bedroom. I'm going to show you something because I would have never thought about doing anything over there until I said, hey, let me know when they put a 3rd or 4th property in Veron, because that would mean they're actually going to clean up the area and put in other amenities. Well, here it is. The 4th property comes over there. Now I have to look at it. I'm going to show you something on the screen. This is what was sent over to me on the $60,000 unit, which is a 2-bedroom. Please tell me who cannot afford this. I would say about 50 or 60% of the people in America. But the other 40%, what if somebody told you you can put down 60, well, you don't have to put down 60,000. You have to put down $500 to reserve. And then they only want 30 days from now, $2,526. So that's basically $3,000 down within 30 days. And then they're going to take $454 a month for 20 months. And at the end of those 20 months, you have to figure out where the other 80% is going to come from. Well, if they're building 4 projects, 5 projects, 6 projects, 7 projects over in Veron, doesn't that indicate that prices may increase in that area? So your 80% LTV that you're going to owe may be down to 70, maybe down to 60. And if you need a loan, you don't need credit for that either, because if you get down to 60% loan to value, even 70% 2 years from now, you will be able to finance this, and your payments are going to be about the same. $454 a month, less than a car payment. You guys still sleeping? Internationally, I don't need credit in Dominican Republic at this point. No credit needed. They finance it in-house for you during construction. Once you finish construction, or they finish construction, that's when they want their other 80% in this case. 2-bedroom, ladies and gentlemen. Something you can rent out. Now, an asset. No credit required. Now, let's get on with the other factor. There's a bunch of you sitting out here right now going, hey, Eric, you know what? I just can't. I'm scared. I can't invest. I don't know what to do. I don't even want to put my money in a stock because I'm afraid of losing. Scared. But over the holidays, for the last 35 days, you figured out all kind of ways to buy Thanksgiving crap. You figured out all kind of ways to buy Christmas crap that return no money back in your pocket. But anytime somebody says, hey, you know what? Put a little money aside and invest it. Oh, I could lose. Every day you're losing. Wake the hell up. Now, Wealthfront, this is for you. a link down below. Wealthfront, set it and forget it. What I mean by that is you just have to put in $500 minimum. They do the investing for you. You just sit back and collect, similar to an index fund. Except an index fund, you have to pick a stock or an index fund. This right here, they pick what your risk allowance is. If you say I want to go walls to the ball, high risk, then you can do that. If you say, hey, I'm scared, do low risk, they'll do it that way. If you say, you know what, it's a mix. I want some high risk, I want some low risk. So if you pick the medium, they'll invest for you the medium risk. But either way, just put your $500 or more in here and they will manage it. So at the end of the year, just like some of you who put in money in a 401k, some of you put money to a mutual fund, some of you put money to an index fund, you can sit back and when they tell you you earn 7%, 8%, 12%, 15%, 20%, you can be happy. Because you didn't take no risk. You let somebody else do the risk for you. All right? So let's get moving. This is 2021. You can't be left behind any longer. It's coming to a head, ladies and gentlemen, because sooner or later the teeter-totter smashes people in the head because you're underneath the teeter-totter. Do you not understand what's going on here? Let me show you guys something. There's 46.8 million millionaires as of 2019. I'm going to bring this up to 50. Because there have been new millionaires this year because you know what? While some of you were sleeping back in March and April when the stock market crashed 30%, some people was buying stocks and others was too scared. Those people that bought stocks, there are now millionaires. That's right. Those people who bought Bitcoin, some people are now millionaires. You're too scared. So here we go. 50 million millionaires. Do you know how many people are on this planet? 7.6 and counting. That means 0.6% of the population is a millionaire. Worldwide population, ladies and gentlemen, not just in America, 0.6%, which is 0.006 out of 7.6 billion people. Now you know when I'm going to this next aisle right here is if there's only 0.6% millionaires out of 7.6 million, here's where the problem comes in. You would think it's no big deal. Well, it's a big deal. How much of the world's wealth is owned by the top 10? Half of the world's net wealth belongs to the top 1%. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see this? Half of the world's net worth belongs to the top 1%. Did you not just hear what I said? 0.6% is the millionaires. So that doesn't even include all of the millionaires. That means you could be an 1,000aire and be a part of this. So let's look further. Top 10% of adults hold 85%. Ladies and gentlemen, top 10% holds 85% of the world's net worth? Who do you think owns the 15%? It ain't you. Well, I shouldn't say some of you are in the top 10%. Some of you are in the top 1% right now who's watching this video. But there are 99.4% of you who are not in the top 1%, who are not in the top 10%. But if you are in the top 10%, you are part of those who own 85% of the world's wealth. Kibbles and bits left to the other 7 billion people. Now you're wondering why you can't get ahead? Because they do something different than what you may be doing. Now listen to this. While the bottom 90% hold the remaining 15% of the world's population. Woo! I don't know what more I need to show you. Top 30% of adults hold 97% of the total wealth. Are you not paying attention, ladies and gentlemen? Top 30%. How do you get to the top 30%? You better get there pretty fast because that teeter-totter is over the edge. It's just like a monopoly board. Once I control 90% of the properties, Game is over. It's just a matter of time before you land on my property and owe me money. And once I have all the money, there's a shortage of money for everybody else on the board. We win. The wealth guys win. So you better get in the game. This is your 2021 talk. Now we're going to figure out how we're going to get there. But I'm going to show you guys something. Look here. Dow Jones. This is last year, January 1st through December 31st. Some of you sitting on the sideline, 6%. You earn 6% on your money. But for all those who are watching Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel, we were telling you back in March, buy. Now, let's go to the end of March, because the middle of March, it was easy. We were saying buy. I'll go 2 weeks out where it went up. Even from that point, that's 40% on your money on an increase while you're getting dividends, while your stock is rising, while your portfolio is rising, while your assets are rising that you can borrow against in case you needed it. It rose while you're sleeping. That's the Dow Jones Industrial Index. The Standard & Poor's 500, otherwise known as S&P 500. Let's see what they did over the course of last year. 16.1%. Now, again, we'll go to March, the end of March. We'll see what happened since then. 43%. Hold on, let me double this again. Let's check this out again. I'm sure it's higher. Nope, 43%. So, if you'd have invested in March, 43% increase on your money, which means increase on your assets, which means now you're increasing your wealth while you sleep. But those who took risk, let's put it this way, the top 10%ers who took risk because they have extra money on hand, they increased their net worth, which now means they increased the net worth for the whole top 10%ers, crushing the 90% of individuals that's left. Let's talk about the NASDAQ. Last year, over year. Let's see what we got. 42%. Go down here to March. Couple weeks in. What happens? 71%. So everybody with an index fund, whether it's on the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, does not matter. S&P 500, you're winning. What happens? End of the day, they give you your 20%, your 40%, your 10%, whatever. You're happy. Go on about your business. Fine. Be safe. All right? Now, that's an assets. Stocks. Now you got to go with the other stats. Revenue in the cruise industry, $37 billion. Right? Airbnb now has 20% of the entire U.S. consumer lodging market. Yet they don't even own any of the units. Talk about liquid. All right. Just giving you something to think about, because what else can we talk about here besides, let's get real. We've been talking about these sectors now for over a year. Here's autonomous driving, which Ford is part of. I love F. F as in Frank is their stock. But we won't talk about that. We're talking about an ETF. It's called DRIV. D-R-I-V. $23.97. Anybody could afford. Last year, $15. What does that mean? The increase, 58% on your money from last year, year over year, while you're sleeping. You didn't have to do anything other than take a risk and invest your hard-earned money. Now, let's go with more autonomous. But you know, Kathy Wood, ARK, ARKQ. Pay attention to that woman. What she invests in, I invest in. 100% on your money since last January 1st. ARKQ, ladies and gentlemen. You see it here on the screen. Many of you weren't listening back in early parts when we were saying get into the autonomous driving. Otherwise, the name, G Money, he was ahead of the curve investing in ARK ETFs. This isn't the only one that you could have done damage. 159% if you'd have done something in March. Let's talk healthcare, another industry. We have 1 in 17 people infected with the virus like zombies. Come on. Shouldn't that mean you do something in healthcare? These are ETFs, ladies and gentlemen, which means they invest in 20, 40, 50 different companies, and then they issue dividends in most cases, and it rises. Because you got to go with the momentum. Like this says, healthcare momentum, go with momentum. 1 in 17 people in America are infected. There's a lot of people that's going to be going to the hospital. Either dying, getting shots, sick, the after effects of this COVID, and now a new strain of COVID is going to wreak havoc as well. So we got to get into healthcare. Let's see what the healthcare stocks have done over the last year. This is no surprise, 70%. P as in Paul, T as in Tom, H for everybody on the podcast. Now, here we go. The ARK Genome Project ETF is what I call it. You better get in the game, ladies and gentlemen. You want to have cancer cures, you want to have COVID cures, you want to have virus cures, whatever you want to have, genome. That's where you got to be. And once again, 179% on the ARKG. ARK, G as in George, ETF. Yes, it's high. Yes, but what do you think's going to keep happening? People are sick. The water is tainted. The food is tainted. The air is tainted. Toxic chemicals everywhere. And you wonder why people are sick? You should be in the healthcare industry. ETF-wise, there you go. Here we go with the Bitcoin. Let's talk about it. We know what happened 2 months ago. We're on live. 2 months ago, we're sitting there saying when it was $345, $350, I keep repeating this, for the ETH, Ethereum, and Bitcoin was 9,000 or 10,000 at that time, we were saying, get frickin' Bitcoin, Ethereum. Here's your Coinbase link down below to get your free $10. That's what it was at the time. Now it's use the Coinbase link down below to get your free $5. And then learn about crypto and the Coinbase educational system, and they will give you free money of other altcoins. Just learn. And now look, $29,000 is Bitcoin. This is called winning, ladies and gentlemen. That's also called over 300% on your money. And there are people out there that was telling you not to buy Bitcoin, not to buy Ethereum, not to even be in the game. Instead, they're telling you to buy gold, silver, precious metals, like it's going out of style. Right. Well, you should have been buying the other speculative play, because you would have 3 times your money, and in some cases 4 times your money. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a little gold and silver, but you guys know how I say it. 3%, 4% on your money, because the whole United States economy is manipulated. If this was a free market system, then I would be more inclined to go with gold and silver, because it would have risen by about 30, 50, 100% by now. But because they manipulate the markets, it keeps it down. Now, let's keep moving. Again, go down there to the Coinbase link, get your free $5. It's going to be long, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up, because if you want your 2021 to be successful as your 2020 should have been, regardless, I don't want to hear excuses. We know people are going to have a problem with evictions. We know people are going to have problems with their mortgage. What's that got to do with the stock market? These guys are protection proof. They've already derivatived it out. Come on, wake up. Here's Ethereum. Again, 3-4 months back, it was only 340, 350. We have doubled our money, ladies and gentlemen, because we invested in Ethereum. 466% on our money over the course of a year. Again, you want to know what else? This is even more funnier. Because last week or a week before, 2 weeks, last 2 weeks, I mentioned BlockFi, which is a crypto. You hodl your crypto. You're making money with your crypto, right? So if you're on Coinbase, like me, I had stuff on Coinbase, the price of my shares go up, I get nothing. But if I'm hanging out at BlockFi and Nexo, I'm earning interest on my money at Nexo. I did a video on Nexo. Links down below. nexo.io. Hodl your money there. While your money's going up, you're also earning interest daily. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, crypto is now an asset because you can borrow against it. And as you can see right here, borrow. Yeah, 5.9%. You don't need to borrow in reality. But the fact of the matter is, when your crypto went up 3 times, that just meant you can borrow 3 times the amount that you previously could have borrowed against. And what do we do with borrowed money? We buy assets that bring us money back in. And we keep that cycle looping. So while we're sleeping, we have no headaches because we know when we wake up, we made more money somewhere. Somebody's cutting us a check in the next week. And we didn't have to work for it. Let's go. That's Nexo. Here's BlockFi. They're under the same program. You can keep your money there. BlockFi interest, 8.6%. You can trade crypto-backed interest loans. Same thing. You can also go to Salt Lending. If you had your money hanging in crypto again, Salt Lending will give 30 to 70% loans. And what do we do with loans again? Repeat after me. You use loans to buy assets. You don't want to buy cars. You don't want to buy a house you live in. You want to borrow money that's going to create more money. All right, this is going to be long. Like I said, we're going to get into some more ETFs. I talked about this a month and a half ago. The weed industry. Okay? Cannabis industry. ETFs. Do you realize cannabis can cure people? Cannabis can be used to create products such as sheets even, pillowcases, clothing. That's right. It actually has more than medical use. This now is a time where you can get in cheap, and here's an ETF for you. If you don't know what stocks to invest in, then pick an ETF because they choose 50 stocks and they put it in their portfolio. Here's what's happened with the MJ. Full disclosure, you can't win them all, but it's lost 15% year over year. Again, buying opportunity, or are you scared opportunity? It's a buying opportunity for me, and everybody knows that because I told MJ and YOLO. Those are the 2 ETFs that we were talking about. Here's YOLO. Year over year is the other one. This one has gained 47% on your money. Combined, if you put in the same amount of money, combined, you'd only be up like 30%. Oh, only 30%. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, but let's see what happened when we had a crash. What do? We buy more. 170% if you were to bought when there's a crash. There's going to be another crash, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about that. This is how the wealthy get wealthier. Everything is manufactured. How do they siphon off your money? Manufactured holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas, now New Year's. Easter's going to come up next. President's Week's going to come up next. And it's sales. Sales to buy something. Meanwhile, they're investing in the stock market, crushing your ass. Because you're sitting there going, now, let me get these nice little trinkets. Let me get these nice little things to hang around my neck. Let me get these nice little watches or bracelets and earrings and shoes and clothes and all this stuff. These guys are laughing all the way to the bank. Look at these clowns out here buying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 per year on items that mean nothing. And in 10 years' time, you would have money coming in that can pay for all your stuff. Like the top 10 percenters, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's move on. Let's go to robotics. That's right, bots. B as in boy, O, T as in Tom, Z as in zebra for everybody on the podcast. Let's talk about this. We'll go year over year. Year over year, 49% 9% on your money. But again, when the crash occurs, what do? Buy more. I'm putting that in your head. Buy more. Don't be scared, because all those big timers, they're getting 88% on their money because they bought back in March when everything went down. That's why you always have to keep that duffel bag of cash at hand. All right, this is going to be a long one, like I said, because you got to understand what's going on here. Let me see if I got 2 bots. Okay. Let's see else. Robot, RBOT, which I don't know if we can get that because it's Canadian. But the same rules apply. 46% on your money. And if you'd have done something in March, you would be up how much? 76% on your money. Again, RBOT if you can get it, but that's like Canadian. So again, another ETF that you don't have to pick the stocks yourself. You don't like Tesla, fine. You don't like Apple, fine. You don't like Microsoft, fine. You don't like Amazon, fine. Okay, pick an ETF then. Okay, let them handle the job. I see nothing wrong with 40-50% on your money. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'll end it with the spectacular Cana. This is the exclusive area of Punta Cana. This is the area where some of the millionaires hang out. Why? Because it's upscale. So now, do you want to be in this upscale neighborhood, or do you want to continue to be in the low-end neighborhood? How do you move up to the upscale neighborhood? You make investments, ladies and gentlemen, that bring in money. And once you get up to 7, 8, 9, 10 investments, and it's all bringing in kibbles and bits. It could be 300 here, 200 there, 500 here, 1,000 there. 7 of those things adds up to thousands of dollars that you don't have to work for, and that changes your life, because now you can sit there and go, you know what, I can work on something else. So with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. That's why I'm bringing the real for 2021, 2020, 2019, and when we started this in 2018, because nobody can be left behind when they know about the SSN Nation. And we coming with something else, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.